Hi everybody, it's Lyndsey Gilchrist here, and today I am talking with Laura Lucas from Inspirational Limited. Hi Laura.
Hi Lyndsey.
Hiya. Do you want to tell me a little bit about your business?
Yeah, so my business is Inspirational, and one of the first things people ask about is the name. So it's a mashup of the words inspiring potential, because that's what I like to do, inspire the potential in everyone, because we've all got much more potential, I think, than we realise. But I like to do it in a very practical and focused way. And the main way I do that is working with very small business owners who, for a lot of these people, like yourself, like myself, our business is a big part of who we are. It's more than just a way to make money. There's probably lots of easier ways to make money than having a business. And I've found I particularly enjoy working with creative people, business to business. So graphic designers, web designers, app designers, even copywriters and PRs, these type of people who offer a business to business service. My background's very much in the corporate world. Well, I started out as a scientist, then moved into the corporate world doing business improvement and change projects. But it was really when I got into the personal development side of things that everything really came together. So, looking at where process meets people, that kind of thing. And what I find with these sorts of people like graphic web designers who are working business to business, they've got real confidence in their skill, but when they come to meet with their clients, they come out of their comfort zone, really, and they feel a bit awkward about talking to business people and selling their product and that side of things. And they also maybe don't know about some of the simple things that can be doing to systemize within their business, just to make life easier for themselves and just get really strategic and focused about what they're doing. So although I'm not a designer and I'm not a creative, I think we kind of complement each other, and that's how it works. I can help them get around what their clients are looking for in business.
Laura the scientist. Who knew it?
Yes, oh, absolutely. Yep, Laura the scientist. Yeah, I always wanted to be a scientist growing up because I love to know how things work and make them work better. That's just who I am. Just always has been. Just that real curiosity. I'm curious or nosy, as some might like to say, about everything. And I question everything. Honestly, don't watch a movie with me because I sit with my phone and I Google everything and I question everything. I ruin everything for my husband. But that curiosity is really, really helpful in business.
Yeah.
In terms of looking at how can we make this work better, in terms of thinking about what does that client actually want, why are they buying my product? Just that real nosiness and curiosity is really helpful. And also the discipline. That's probably what helped me move into the project management side of things, because obviously I ran my PhD as a whole project, so there was all the research for that for 2.5 years, and then writing it up. I actually enjoyed writing it up probably more than doing the research. But that was when I realised I'm not really a boffin. I don't really like being shut away in a room on my own. I like working with people. So yeah, it just all comes together, and I think that's what I like to help other people do as well. See how the different elements of who they are come together, because there's none of us just one thing. I sometimes struggle a bit because I'm a bit of a paradox, and I suppose we all are in some ways. I'm quite I'm very committed to doing everything I can to be the best I can in this life and find my purpose, and really on quite a sort of deep level, but also I'm just really crazy and random as well. But I think that's okay, and it's where those things meet that the magic happens, isn't it? And that's what makes us all unique. And I just like to help people find their unique purpose, what it is that's going to drive them and keep them motivated, so that they can bring whatever crazy it is that they need to bring to the world.
And I think everybody will know, if they've watched you on Periscope, that you can be crazy and random.
Yeah, that's just what happens. It's because, I don't know, it's the way my brain's wired. I just think of weird things, and when I think it, it's out there. I just say
it. So how long have you been in business?
Conversations in some interest. Sorry?
How long have you been in business?
2 years trading as Inspirational on my own, yeah.
And what prompted you to start up?
Lots of different things. I think I resisted it for a long time. A lot of my friends said, "Oh, you should have your own business," and at that time, I was in the space of, not for me. I just want to do interesting work, doing what I'm doing. I don't want to have to worry about accounts and marketing and all that side of things. And then I was getting back into the job market after I had my last baby. I was made redundant while I was on maternity leave, and I was looking around for jobs, and I had it often, and I just thought, you know what? Nope. And then I had a conversation with a friend, and she said to me, to get everything I want out of a career, I can't expect an employer to provide all that. I need to go out and do my own thing. So that was the final push, and I've never looked back. And actually, funnily enough, I really enjoy doing all the marketing side of things. Not the accounts, that's farmed out. But I mean, that's the great thing. You don't have to do the bits that you don't want to do. You do need to learn things that you didn't even consider before you got into a business, but you don't need to do it all by yourself, which is one of the reasons we're here. Yeah. So nice little segue.
Yeah. What's your big dream then for Laura Lucas and Inspirential?
My whole reason for being is I want to inspire everyone in the world to start walking their path to their destiny. So it's a great big dream, and it's that big sort of like a North Star goal, I would call it, and it just keeps me moving in the right direction. Everything I do has to get me closer to that goal. Arguably, it's never a goal I'll achieve. It might be. I don't know.
You never know.
You never do. But because I've got such a big goal, and there's that ripple effect as well, you never know who you're inspiring. I don't have to personally inspire everyone in the world, but if my message gets out there and people meet people, and there is that ripple effect, so yeah, move me in that direction. If the work I'm doing isn't inspiring someone to step up and basically jump off that cliff and become everything that they can be in this life, then I'm not doing my job. And the way I'm doing it by working with the skills and talents I've already got that I know can get results for people. And I think that's why I'm in that sort of small business space, because people's work is their passion in that area. I do corporate work, but I'm looking to do more and more of the small business work, really, because it's where people have a real passion.
So what is it that keeps you going then and motivates you?
It just comes from within me. It's not something I have to look for. It's like the random factor. It just bursts out of me. I'm a natural well of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not motivated for, like, last night I had to catch up with my accounts, and I had to sit with the laptop on my account software and catch up with that's not as motivating. But one thing I've been focusing on, and I spoke about this on my Periscope earlier on today, is rather than just changing that one word, instead of saying I have to or I've got to, say I get to. So I get to do my accounts so I can have this wonderful business and I can inspire everyone in the world, and that just changes my focus a bit. And it sounds quite trite, and when I first really started getting back into it a few weeks ago, I was like, really? Are you just not persuading yourself of something? But actually, I use it in a practical sense all the time. Whenever that sort of entitled voice comes up in my head, I shouldn't have to do, I just change it around and say, well, I get to do this so I can have this or have that. But also when that voice comes up, or when I just get that feeling like, oh, I really don't want to be doing this, I do look for how can I not do this, or how can I do less of this, or spend less time or less energy doing it. So it's handy, that wee voice as well.
I quite like that analogy though for the get. I'm going to start using that one.
Yeah, it's one letter. It was actually Michael Hyatt wrote about it in his blog recently, and he changes from I have to I get to, but I use I've got to I get to, and you change one letter. So this morning it was I've got to get the kids' breakfast ready, but actually it was I get to have breakfast with the kids, which, when they are out 8 till 6, yes, it's great because I get to work on a day, but actually getting to spend that time, if I grudged it and was like, oh, because I'd actually got up, I'd had my shower and I was quite inspired to go and do some writing, and then the wee one appeared and I was like, oh, I don't get to do my writing, but actually I get to spend that time with her, and then I had all day to write the blog before I see her again at night. And it really does change things, and it changed that hour and a half, couple of hours for me massively this morning. Yeah. And I just let myself enjoy it instead of worrying about the blog post. Don't get me wrong, I did get a wee bit of paper and jot down a few key notes from my shower ideas to use later, but rather than thinking about that and Roselle, my 2.5-year-old little girl. You know, one of these days I'm going to be regretting all these hours that I didn't spend with her. So I just let myself enjoy it, and that makes a massive difference.
You've already touched on the outsourcing word. So what is it that you currently outsource?
Lots and lots, as much as I can. I met my accountant on Friday, so I outsource my accounts. Although I was setting up some accounting software, and actually it's so automated that there's very little to outsource. It's fabulous. And I actually sorted out a whole year's accounts last night because I'd set it up, so it was pulling in my feeds, but it just wasn't. I had to go and assign all the different transactions, but I can set up rules, so I have to do hardly anything on that. Lisa does my year-end account. She does my annual return. And she reminds me of all that stuff. I don't have to worry my pretty little head about it. I just get on with things, and she keeps me right. So I outsource that. I outsource my website maintenance. So when I first started, when I was just sort of coming out of that maternity leave phase, I did actually build my website myself. I'm not technical in any way at all, but I joined a Facebook group or a course or something, and it basically showed you how to set up your WordPress site. It recommended all the plugins, so I just followed it step by step and set up my site. But all those plugins and things need to be maintained, your theme needs updated, all that stuff. Well, I only had to break the thing once to realise that actually I don't want to do this. And I didn't want to be in that position when I had a whole load of content. At that stage, I maybe had a couple of pages and 1 or 2 blog posts. But now, you know, I've got, I don't know how many blog posts, probably about 100 blog posts. A nightmare to lose them. So that is outsourced. I have someone who looks after all that for me. Again, I don't have to think about it. And I also know, so for example, I had my opt-in offer on my header of my Facebook page. So Tiffany, who looks after my website, I was able to just get in touch with her and say, this is what I want to do, and can you do that for me? And she's able to do it. So I've got that contact there as well. Even though things come up all the time and I don't quite know what I want to do, I've got someone there that can help me. And if there's stuff that she can't do, she can get someone else to do it for me. And I also outsource my calendar and email. I have my assistant looks after that every day, and had just booked a 6-month client and had to arrange 12 coaching sessions. I like to arrange them all. So I'll give someone, for example, the first and the third Wednesday of the month at 10 o'clock. So we've got a consistent time. It just makes things easier. Obviously things come up and we need to rearrange things, but I was sitting there going through my calendar, putting them in my calendar, putting them into a spreadsheet to send to my client, and I just thought, no, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be phoning another client. So that all gets outsourced. And Daniela helps me with just other little bits and pieces of just little bits and pieces that come up. And what I find with that is, yes, it frees up my time, but more than that, it frees up my headspace and it frees up my energy to do the things that I really need to do when I know I don't need to worry about it. Like the other day, somebody gave me a date that they want to run a workshop. So I had probably about places in mind that we could run that workshop. So I just emailed them to Daniela and said, can you get in touch with these places, see which ones are available and what it's going to cost? And then she sends it all back to me nice and neat, exactly. She sends it in a little spreadsheet with exactly what I'm going to get at each of the venues and what it's going to cost. And I've not had to spend any mental energy. It probably, you know, I could sit and probably do that in half an hour, maybe longer, with phones going back and forwards. But for me, it's not the time. It's just being able to take that, worrying about that, and give it to someone else. It's massive for me.
So what was a trigger then that made you start outsourcing?
Probably that day when I was sitting scheduling all. Like I say, I'm always looking for ways to make things better, and I got into this massively back in a previous life. I worked for Tesco, and I took a job as a project manager to implement this database that was going to pull together 7 systems and report from individual agent all the way up to multi-site contact center level. Now, I'm not technical. I didn't know a word of code, anything like that at all. And I took on this project, and there was somebody already existing in the team. The analyst was brought into the team at the same time as me, and they were just a nightmare. They didn't have a clue what they were doing, and they had a massive fallout, and I spent all my time sorting that out. But in between times, the database had to get built. This was in Microsoft Access. So I learned code, and I just did it. Don't ask me how, but I just did it. And And since that day, then I got really into Excel and being able to do macros and do things automatically. And now it's my go-to position. What can I do automatically, and what can I get other people to help me with? With repetitive tasks, nope, I just don't do them. Not for me. I took no persuasion at all.
So how did you find your VA or the people that you outsourced to?
My VA, I just put on Facebook, anybody using a virtual assistant who can recommend, and it actually ended up being through a friend who lives down in Norfolk, and she used to work with someone who is now a VA, and I'd actually met her, and I went and met her and had a chat with her, and just knew she was the girl for me for that side of things. And yeah, that was it. Never really looked back. So I do like, getting that personal recommendation is really helpful. And the same for my accountant. She's a friend of a friend. And with the website one, that was through an online course I was doing. And Tiffany was just really, really helpful, and the obvious go-to person for me. I never find myself, sitting just Googling for someone and looking at 3 different ones and comparing them all. There's always, it just kind of comes naturally for me. There's always that go-to person. Great. Yeah, definitely.
So what traits do you think that they need to have then?
What traits do they need to have? So they need to know their stuff. And actually, I'm thinking of moving, or I don't know whether I need to move my stuff from Daniela or get a new virtual assistant, because Daniela's great and she can do anything I teach her to do. I don't have time to learn it and then teach her who already knows it. So one of the things I'm looking at is potentially putting in a CRM system. And I've worked with CRM loads, but not for a lot of years. And I know what I want from it, but I can't say to Daniela, go and research CRM systems and set it up for me, because she won't have, she wouldn't be able to do it. So, and things like being able to help with what are they called, like landing pages and autoresponders and all that kind of thing. Daniela's great at the traditional PA type stuff, but not the online business. So that's kind of the next place I'm going. I can't remember what you asked me and if that answers the question or not.
So what traits do you think you need to have?
So they need to do what I don't know how to do and actually don't want to learn how to do. As long as I know it in principle, I don't want to have to, because I mean, what I do with Daniela, she does put up some blog posts for me. So what I did when I was putting up my own blog posts, I just did bullet points as I went and give her incredibly detailed bullet point instructions. But if there was someone I didn't need to give incredibly detailed bullet point instructions, then that would be a bonus. So somebody that knows online business would be good for that side of things. It's also got to be someone who doesn't just do what I ask them to do, but actually who kind of preempts my needs. And Daniela's great for that. She'll see an email comes in from a client saying, oh, I'm going to need to change this session. And she's got it sorted out before I've even noticed what's
properly read it.
Yeah, she has. It's fantastic.
Go and do this, and she's like, "It's already done. It's fine."
Yeah, absolutely. And she sends me like little reminders. She'll say, "I see this email still sitting there. I'm not seeing anything to say that you've gone back and done that." And she'll just remind me. And someone that's just willing to work with me and explore new things, because I'm always doing something new.
So what was the business like before you outsourced, and what is it like now?
I've just got a bit more headspace, really. I didn't wait a very long time before outsourcing. I mean, I always outsourced my accounts. I never did them myself. I always outsourced my web maintenance, because I'm just outsourcing and focusing on what I'm good at and getting other people to do the rest. And that comes from that project management, change management, time of working. I've had my database that I was talking about before that I built. I did eventually manage to recruit a good analyst into that role, and actually having to then hand it over to him was quite difficult. And we had to go through a period where he would shadow me and come along to meetings and things, and I gradually handed over responsibility to him. But then one day he turned around and said, "Oh, Laura, come and have a look at this bit of code. I think it's going to fix this problem." And it was a long-standing problem that I had not been able to solve, that I'd done an intricate workaround for, and he fixed it. And it was just awesome, when someone else does something that you couldn't do, and it made me feel really proud. So I was already bought into the fact that you can't do everything by yourself, and actually if you do everything by yourself you end up doing a lot of things badly.
Yeah.
And you need to get other people to do the bits that aren't your absolute passion, to free you up to do more of the magic, really. I mean, I'm never going to make anything magical by building a spreadsheet, but I can make a big difference to people by coaching them.
So what benefits are there to outsourcing? Why is it so important for you and your business to have that team there in effect?
Well, to know that nothing slips through and that I'm not going to let my clients down. So there's very much a system in place. You know, when I bring a new client in, it's one email to Daniela, and she sort of sorts out all the nuts and bolts and things. Plus, you know, if I'm not around, because I'm often face to face with clients, there's somebody there if people need to get in touch with her. But for me, the massive thing is that I can get on with my next project, the next thing that I'm going to do to bring money into my business, or getting out there and meeting more clients. I don't have to be worrying about every little detail, because to be honest, it's not the energy that just drains me, absolutely drains me, and it would stop me from being, you asked me earlier, how do I get motivated, and I am just motivated for what I do. But actually, if I was drowning under all these tasks that really don't motivate me, then my motivation would be gone and I wouldn't have a business. So
you're a mum, and you've balanced your successful business with raising your family. Have you got any advice for any other mums out there?
Don't ask me. No, I've got fantastic grandparents, my parents and Simon's mum, and I'm just so completely spoilt by that. So that's absolutely awesome for me. Plus, the kids absolutely love what they do. It's finding fun things for them to do. We found a nursery that the wee one loves. While school's on holiday, the older one is at school club, and she just absolutely loves it. It's brilliant. They were away at Dobbies today doing gardening and stuff, and I think throughout the holiday, she was only there for 4 weeks, 3 days a week, and it's got 6 trips going different places. So, it's recognising as well that they benefit from being outside the home and being with other people. And I suppose when you're with them, be with them. Like that example this morning when I'd hoped to get up and get a blog post written before the kids were awake. But of course the wee one got up. And it's just learning to enjoy those moments and say, well, okay, it's not happening. It doesn't matter if I go in a big strop here and have a horrible morning and grump at the children. It's not happening. So I might as well just write a few notes, put it on one side and enjoy it. And just see where you are. Be 100% where you are if you can.
How can we find out more about you and Inspirential?
All over social media. Inspirential.com is my website with the blog, and that's spelt like inspiring potential. So it's a mashup of those 2 words, Inspirential. And I'm all over social media on Twitter at one Laura Lucas, because there's only one Laura Lucas. One Laura Lucas. Yes, I very chose that Twitter handle. So yeah, it gets random. So one Laura Lucas on Twitter, at one Laura Lucas on Periscope. Come and join me on Periscope for some random fun. And also some sensible stuff as well. And I'm facebook.com/one Laura Lucas. You got it.
Oh, and she is, I must admit, she is random and fun.
Yes.
But I'd like to thank you for attending today, Laura, and for letting me interview. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's been fun.